Hey everyone, this video is about a 2020 Grand Design Momentum 397 toy hauler. We are doing our walkthrough today and I'm going to video the whole thing. So this is me and my husband. I am Linda and this is Roy, and we are at General RV Center in North Canton, Ohio. So this video is part 2 of 5 videos. Because the walkthrough was so long, I didn't want to put it all on one video, so I'm breaking it up into 5 different videos. Remember, this is unedited and there is noise in the background because we are in a garage where people are working. So here, enjoy part 2 now.
Obviously, so these, have you had the electric awnings before? Okay, so they're not very good in the wind. That's their big drawback. Okay.
Try and get them in if it's. Yeah.
If a good rule of thumb is if you're not under it, it doesn't need to be out.
Okay.
Right. You come in for the day.
Okay.
You're going to bed at night. You're coming in to make dinner. You're leaving to go do shopping or whatever. Bring the awning in. Okay. That way, when you wake up or you come back, it's not flipped over
not
the
on
awning.
The ground, yeah.
Yeah, because they're about $2,500 a piece to replace.
Okay, we don't want to flip.
No, you don't want to do that at all.
No way.
Okay. Generator is the next spot here, so it's very easy on the generator. You just hold down that start button. It's priming up, getting ready to go.
It's running.
Okay.
Damn thing quiet, huh?
Yes. Then you hit the stop button there, and it'll turn off.
I like the quiet. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's so low underneath
Yeah,
your subfloor and
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
that helps a lot on it. This is going to give you your hours meter on there as well as battery voltage.
Oh,
You can
okay.
go into the settings on this thing, and you can kind of just look at all the different things, starting duration, all that stuff. You won't really mess with a bunch of this stuff, but the
Right,
options are
right.
all there just in case.
How long have you been doing this, Adam?
5 years now.
Probably a lot of studying, huh?
Yeah, considering that
I do so much.
it's kind of
new.
funny. I spent 11 years in food and restaurants. Did everything. I've opened restaurants. I've catered. I've been cook. I've been waiter. I've managed. I've done a little bit of everything, and got out of that way back in the day. Actually, our foreman or our service manager here, his daughter is best friends with a girl I used to date.
Okay.
And I've known Dean for 10, 12 years now at this point. We were kind of talking one day, and I was just like, I'm starting to resent the food industry world, and it's starting to kind of piss me off, and I'm starting to not like cooking at home anymore because I do it all day for grateful people, and it's kind of annoying. And so he was like, we're thinking about creating a new job that I think you'd be good for. You should come in and interview. And I was like, yeah, screw it, all right. So I came in, I interviewed. This job that we're doing now didn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Before I had it, I was the first one to do this in the entire company.
Seems like why? I mean, didn't they?
So our technicians used to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So
they had
the idea,
somebody,
we had someone who did it, but again, the problem with that is not all technicians are good people persons. Not all good people persons are good technicians. We have a few here that were really good.
This
at
is
doing
solely
all
what
those
you do then.
Mostly, yeah. I do stuff in the parks department and stuff like that. So I did it for a year by myself. The company enjoyed what they liked so much that now every store has 5 or 6 guys that do what I do.
All right.
And with how busy we got, technicians also weren't able to do it.
Right.
because,
Oh yeah.
if I can spend
Too many.
an hour or two with you, that's an hour or two a
Right.
guy can be working on the next unit.
Yeah.
So I did this for 3 years.
Yeah.
I ran this department for about a year and a half, and then I went over into service, and I worked as a service advisor for 2 years. And then this summer I came back over here to kind of help them out again and get them trained up. And now that I have the knowledge about what's going on over there, I can come over here
You
and
can just.
I know more things. Yeah, if I need to, I can jump on it. But I also know, things like the sealant on the roof, right? That's covered for the first 90 days. After the first 90 days, it's on you. So even though you've got a 1-year warranty on it, if you get a roof leak and they determine it's because this seal went bad and you're 8 months into your warranty, it's not covered because your sealant is your maintenance thing.
Yeah.
If you don't stay on top of the maintenance things, that's where they're going to get you on. Now, that being said, Grand Design's unbelievable. You guys have obviously done your research.
Yeah, we do. And
I,
we're on so many forums.
I love Grand Design.
Yeah.
The first 3 years when I just did these walkthroughs, just because I like their product.
Yeah.
I thought they built really good stuff.
Yeah.
And I knew going through the preps, we didn't find a whole lot of major issues with their stuff.
Right.
And then when I went over to service, I saw them go above and beyond.
Okay.
You know, they were taking care of people. I actually, Grand Design called me. It was actually on a momentum. It was in 2015 or 16 momentum. And this was just last year, so it was 2018,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
Grand Design called me and said, hey, we got this guy. He's been having this leak issue in his basement storage. He's been to the factory twice. He's been to 3 different dealerships. It just won't get fixed. We don't know what's going on with it. We're going to send him to you because he's in your area right now. I was like, okay. And they go, whatever he wants, do it. The dude was 2.5 years out of his warranty. So
That's fantastic.
he came in and he, no matter he'd been through the ringer
Oh,
already,
Mm-hmm.
but he came in. I said, all right, well, Grand Design gave me a blank check. What do you want to do? And he goes, I want you to replace the floor. Well, it's all rotted out, obviously. Instead of putting vinyl down, I want you to do truck bed liner paint on stuff.
Yeah.
So that if it does, so if it does leak, you know, it's protected.
Yeah.
Plus, I can see it.
Yeah.
Problem with the linoleum is it would get under the linoleum and you didn't know it was leaking.
Right.
So I said, okay, price it all up. It was about $8,000 worth of stuff.
Wow.
Grand Design came back and just said, do it, no questions asked. So, like I said, and I've seen a lot of manufacturers who just at midnight 1 year from when you bought it,
Yeah.
they're done with you. You know, they're
I
not
know.
going to stand up.
We were on a lot of forum. We're on the Grand Design thing that
On
we all
Facebook
talk.
and-
We all talk amongst everybody. You know, we don't have very many.
Well,
The ones we do here, I'm thinking, and I'm not super mechanical inclined, but I think some of this stuff is their fault. You know, people.
and they
the
put
people who are doing
and,
it, you know.
and they
I'll tell you, when I worked in service, that's a lot of it too. Is that there was a lot of things people would come in, and they would say, "Hey, this and this and this are wrong." Okay, and then like half of it would come covered under warranty, and the other half wouldn't. And a lot of people were like, "Well, this is crazy. Why is it not covered under warranty?" And they go, "Well, they're claiming it's abuse, or they're claiming it's user error," and a lot of it really is that. You know?
I bet it is. Yeah,
There are some
you know,
that I look at them and I go,
Yeah.
hey, look, I agree with you. This shouldn't have been your fault.
Right.
I need to try and get this covered for you. But there were a lot of them that I'm just like, there's nothing I can do.
Your hands are
That's
tied,
it.
yeah.
I mean, it's
how do we
it is
know?
what it
How do we
is.
know what maintenance that we need to do? Like you said, the roof.
sure.
How do
sure.
we know?
The biggest thing for you guys to be doing is the sealant maintenance is going to be the biggest thing. You know, so the silicone and stuff around the windows, you want to be checking that stuff. You
Okay.
want to get up on the roof where the vents and everything are.
Yeah.
You'll see that lap sealant that's up there. You want to make sure that's not peeling, drying, cracking, anything like that.
No, this is a rubber roof, I think.
It is. It's a TPO roof,
Okay.
which is essentially the same as a rubber roof.
Okay.
It's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
It just means you don't have to do the UV treatment as much on it.
Okay.
You still want to get up there and give it a good scrub and a wash.
Yeah.
Probably once a year.
Okay.
I would say at least 2, maybe 3 times a year you get up there and you check the seals.
Right.
If the seals are starting to crack and stuff like that, you put a little bit over it, call it a day. If it's really bad, scrape it up, clean the area, redo the whole thing.
Right.
Now I will say that I may have told you about the seal tech test that we do, which is where we hook up a big fan up to the vent. We actually pressurize the inside of the cabin here, and we cover the whole outside with soap and water, and we wait to see bubbles pop out.
Right.
If there's bubbles popping up where there shouldn't be, we know we got a leak there. Now, obviously, you're going to see some bubbles like around the door and some holes and stuff like that.
definitely, yeah.
All that stuff is normal,
Right.
but we check the roof, we check everything, make sure we're good on that. You can get that test done anytime you want. It's like $160. We can do it in our service department.
Okay.
We're either going to come back and go, hey, $160 bought you peace of mind, you're all good to go. Or we're
Yeah.
going to say, hey, we found 2 hours worth of work that needs to be done in
right.
your roof to seal it up. Do you want to do that? Sure.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
we'll go back in the shop. We'll
Yeah.
knock it out.
That'd be a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just things like that just need to be done. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things I pushed when I was in service was our multi-point inspections, which is just a little worksheet, and it goes over the 12 volt, the 110, the propane, all the appliances, just kind of does a quick check on just about everything.
Right.
And then we come back and they've either checked okay or they checked, needs this. And then we kind of go through and say, hey, my guy saw this, but you know what? It's not anything to worry about right now. You probably just need to do it within the next year.
Okay.
But he also saw this. This
Yeah.
is something you need to get done right now.
Right.
And we can do that and quote you on everything and say, here it is. And I suggest once you get out of warranty, that's something you do all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys purchased the Cornerstone or the extended
No,
service contract.
I'm probably going to go with the other warranty
Okay,
company.
that's
a
fine.
little
As long
bit.
as you do something
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Because it's a good idea, too,
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
that's nice if things like the slide motors go out or like, you know, for
Yeah.
instance, your air conditioner.
We got something like
Yeah.
covers
This
somebody
is-
to come out.
It's one of
somebody
those
to
that
come
just
out.
tells you the exclusion, so everything's covered
Yep.
except for this.
Yeah,
But
and that's how our system works.
it
here,
was
too.
half of what you guys were. So.
Sure, that's
And
fine.
then
And
they
it's
have
a,
they'll pay for
they have all real good
removal.
reviews.
Yeah, ours covers, I think the one we work with, they cover road calls up to like $250, and then after that it's
on
Yeah.
it's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This company has a whole bunch of really good reviews.
Who
and,
is it?
Some wholesale warranty.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I just did my homework on that one, and I'm only doing a 5-year. I'm not doing a 7-year. So
Mhm.
who knows where we're going to be in 5 years?
Right. Right. You might be in something else. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah, exactly.
I may be under the ground.
We're retired. We're retirement age.
Sure,
so
sure.
We're old.
Right. The other thing I would say to watch, and you guys already have the slide toppers on there, which is great.
Yeah.
But the rubber seal is going around the slides. Make sure
Okay.
those are staying intact. They're not dry and peeling or
Okay.
anything like that.
Okay.
Leaks at the slide room are probably the biggest thing I saw across the street. I rebuilt dozens of slide rooms over there. Mainly because
That's
when
the
you get a
only thing
leak.
that bothers me. I'm telling you.
Right. Because the main thing is when you get a leak in a slide room, you don't see it because there's stuff in your slide room
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it travels down the wall and
Yeah.
it goes into the corners and you don't know it's there until it's too late, and then you
Yeah.
go to poke your finger through it and you're like, I can put my finger through the wood.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah.
good. You know, I had a guy who came in. It can be sneaky on you. I had a guy who he bought a unit from a private dealer,
Yeah.
and he bought it for like $5,000. It was a little fifth wheel, and he brought it in. He goes, "Hey, I know I got a little leak at this window in the back. Do you mind looking at it and seeing if you can get it fixed up? I mean, I bought it for $5,000, so I can put a little money in it." When I got done with my inspection, we were about 110 hours in repairs. The entire back wall needed replaced. We had to replace the floor on the back end. His slide room was rotted out.
Evidently you did it.
Yeah, we did most of it. We cut him down a little bit. I gave him the best deal I could. So I felt bad. The guy bought a $5,000 camper, and then
Thought he had.
I had to charge him like
Yeah.
$14,000 for the repairs.
Yeah.
So his $5,000 camper
Turned into-
became a
yeah,
$19,000 camper
$19,000.
real
Yeah,
quick.
really.
So yeah, just one of those things that you got to be careful on the maintenance things with them.
Well, Adam, I know you're you're good. I mean, I appreciate
Yeah, no,
your
appreciate it.
expertise. I do.
Thank you.
I'm really learning things I need to. And I'm not an easy learner. So
Sure,
you're doing
sure.
a good job. Adam.
Like I said, been doing it for a long
Yeah.
time, so I
Yeah.
learned to figure it out a little bit. So, all right, back to this a little
All right.
bit here. So we covered awning and generator. You got your HVAC here, so that's going to give you bedroom, garage, and main climate zone there. When you run through on these, you're going to see. So if we go into here, you've got cool and you have off. This is the bedroom. Okay. Now, if we go back and we go to the garage climate, you're going to have cool and you're going to have off. Okay? If you go to the main climate, you're going to see that you have heat, cool, and off. Okay? Now, the reason why you're not seeing all those options on the other ones is you have one furnace and you have 3 ACs.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So the ACs are all going to be controlled individually. Now, all 3 ACs are in one ducting system. Okay, so if you have the garage air conditioner on, you will still get cool air all the way up in the bedroom. You just won't get very much out of the ductwork in there because it's going to lose pressure as it goes back, obviously. Now, your furnace all runs through the floor. Okay? Now, with the furnace, and you may have been told that it does heat down below. It does to a point.
Okay.
That's not its main function.
Yeah, right.
Because your heat runs through the floor, you're going to have radiant heat because
Yeah,
you have the
that's-
underbelly with the foam in there and everything. It's going to hold some of that heat.
Okay.
It does not guarantee that you're not going to freeze or anything,
Right.
so be aware of that
Yeah,
as
okay.
well. Okay. So all your furnace, though, is controlled from the main climate control area, which is going to be this living room, kitchen area.
Why would you have it heat and cool?
So the heat cool thing just means you can put it on that and you can say 72 degrees. Whether I need to do the furnace or I need to do the AC, I'm going to put it at 72 degrees.
Whether it has to use the heat or the...
Correct.
Gotcha.
So you'll probably just use the heat or the cool, to be honest with you, but it's there if you need that option. Okay? Your fan is the other option that you have, and this is in all three of them. You have auto, high, and low. I suggest leaving them in auto unless you just want to run the fan, because if you have it in high or low and you turn your furnace on, the fan will still kick on, which doesn't really do you much good. So leave it in auto for the most part. That way the fan knows what to do when it wants to do it. Okay? Questions in here? Okay. Moving on. Leveling. So you can actually come into here and you can do the leveling here. I don't think you ever will, because you're probably going to be out there most of the time. But this will give you some other options. It'll give you any fault codes and stuff like that through this screen here. So if you're having any issues, you can actually do that. You can actually go into the manual mode in this as well, so that you can manually do things if the auto leveling system can't figure it out. You can go into this as well. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to be running out there.
Yeah, because I like to see what's going on.
Exactly. Okay. Lighting is in here. This is where it gets kind of fun. So, I can hit all off, and all the lights go off, except for this one here, and the ones that are like controlled by switches in there. Then you can hit on. Every light will kick on. Okay. Any of these lights that kind of have the funky lights going on with them, you can actually hit. So accent lights in here, you can actually come here and I can turn these accent lights whatever color I want off this color wheel.
Whatever your mood is.
Like behind the TV and above there, I can move all this stuff and I can change its colors based off of that. I can also change its speed and have it kind of bounce around and do whatever it wants. So now I can have a disco rave in here if I wanted to. You can put a sleep timer on it. You can do a lot of fun things with this one, which is kind of fun. You can also come here. So like we have rainbow on. I can just do on, where I can say I want it to be blue and I want it to stay blue. You know, so you can do all that stuff. I think if you hit dead center, they could turn pretty white too.
Yeah.
It's just hard to find that spot sometimes. Yeah, you have a lot of little options on these, which is pretty cool. So you have like the on, the off, the blink, primary blink, blink primary and secondary, fade primary, secondary, and rainbow. So those are just the settings on what the lights will do, which is kind of cool. You can do that inside, and you can do that with the outside lights, which are these lower accent lights. You guys saw those kind of blinking out there. Any of these other lights, when you see a little meter here on them, so you can actually hit a dimmer on them. So if you want to dim the lights, you can come over here and you can actually dim them out. If you hit that, it'll just bring up a little bit more of a thing, and you can actually cycle these around too. And then you can actually hit the dim all button, and it'll just halfway dim all the lights that are on this panel. Yeah, another nice little cool thing there.
The floodlight, is that outside?
Yes. And of course you've got, see, there's just these lights. Yes,
the
just
lights
on
under
here.
the
So these
awning.
9 lights are the ones that are connected. Everything else will have a switch on it somewhere around.
Okay.
Okay.
Slow, huh?
Monitor panel. So it's going to tell you how full all your tanks are. So fresh tank's reading 66%. Gray's reading full. Black's reading full. Gray 2's reading full. Your fuel tank's reading empty, and your black 2's reading full. Now we'll dump all that stuff before you guys go. We fill them up just to make sure there's no leaks or anything in the tanks.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Also, the other thing to notice is, notice how they all say 100% except for fresh tank, which say 66%. Those gray and black tanks are probably anywhere between 66 and 100%. They're not going to tell you an exact percentage. Right. They're going to tell you, just like in other motorhomes that you guys have had, empty, 1/3, 2/3 full. Or in this case, 0, 33, 66, and 100. Okay,
gotcha.
So it's not going to give you an exact what you got going on. On the right side here, you've got electric water heater, gas water heater, water pump, and then your water tank heater. Okay? Water tank heaters, you turn those on. All that is little 12-volt pads that are on the black and gray tanks to keep them from freezing up on you in colder weather. Again, they're helpful down to about, they say they can go down to like 0 degrees. I would really trust them down to about 15, 20 at most.
Okay.
Plus, to be honest with you, you guys got wheels in a truck. Get the hell out of the cold. Go somewhere
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah.
Don't
As soon as we
turn
get
that
our
on.
truck, we
I
are.
can't
Yeah,
wait.
if
We're
you
getting
need
that
that, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Water pump, obviously, today I needed to use that water in the fresh
Right.
tank.
Yep.
But if you're on city water, you don't need it on.
Right.
And then you've got your gas and electric, which you can have both on at the same time. Doesn't hurt anything. Gas is quicker than electric. Electric's generally going to be free at most campgrounds you go to, unless they're going to meter you. And at that point, you kind of choose what you want. Running both at the same time is going to give you a quick recovery. So you're going to get a little bit quicker recovery on your hot water tank. And the nice thing about running gas and electric too is gas is going to come on and run to a certain temperature and then kick off. Electric is just going to heat the element up and stay there. So what will happen is they'll both kick on. The propane will eventually kick off. The electric will sustain that temperature, so your propane is not kicking on and off all the time. That way, unless you're using a lot of hot water, then the propane will kick back on to help it along, and then once it gets up to temperature, the electric will do its job and sustain it from there. So use that as you will. Remember, the electric out here does not come on unless, pop quiz, who knows? Switch outside.
Oh, remember that?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we know that switch out there is on, and we knew that this is on in here, so the electric water heater is working. If I turn this off, even with this off, the outside one being on, it's still off.
Okay.
If I turn this back on, and I go outside and I go flip the outside switch off, it's off. They both have to be on or it's off.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And then the last spot here is our slide rooms. So you've got bedroom slide, main slide, and then that's it. Because these two are going to run together off a hydraulic system, and that one's going to run off an electric system.
These two run together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But they said there's an override.
So there is. In there with the hydraulic system, there's little black knobs that you can close off, and it just shuts the valves off so it doesn't push the hydraulic fluid out to them.
Okay.
I've yet to really see a
Anybody have
need
to
for
use it?
that.
Yeah, okay.
I keep thinking to myself, like, I guess if you pulled into a truck stop and there was a guy on one side of you and you just wanted to open up the kitchen side so you can make lunch or something real quick,
But we can get
maybe.
to
You can get to the refrigerator.
the bathroom, and a bedroom.
Yeah, so there's not
we don't
really a need, I
yeah.
don't
No.
think, but
Yeah, I don't think
it's
we're
there
gonna-
in case you
Right,
ever find a
right.
situation
Yes.
where you only want to put one
Yeah.
slide
That's
out.
kind of why we picked this, because we knew we could get everything we needed when we're just.
And that's another thing that and Grand Design's done a really good job of doing it too, of being able to get to the refrigerator even with the slides
Yeah,
in,
yeah.
which is smart because a lot of people made that complaint. Like,
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to get into my refrigerator and not have to open everything up.
I've seen
And,
some
Yeah.
of the units that you can't.
oh yeah, there's a lot that do it that way. So, so with the main slides, they're hydraulic. You just bring them in until they're all the way in, and then you're good. This bedroom slide is going to be a little bit different. Okay.
Okay.
Bedroom slide is on a Schwintek system.
Oh, okay.
So with the bedroom slide, what it is on either corner of the slide is a motor. And then off those motors are two drive rams that come down with worm gears that sit in the aluminum tracks that you see on the
Okay.
side of the slide room.
Those are the things that scare me.
Yeah. So this will help you maybe not be scared. Okay. Those two motors, they don't talk to each other. Okay, they talk to a computer that's underneath in the basement storage area. Okay, when you bring the slide room all the way in or all the way out, and that's the only options, all the way in
Yeah.
or all the way out. Once it's completed its path, it's going to get quiet because what happens is those motors are on an amp draw. So once they've drawn too many amps, they shut off. Okay, that way you can't hurt them.
Okay,
Okay.
good. That's good.
But what you want to do is when it's all the way in or all the way out, don't let go of the button. Okay? It's going to get quiet, and you want it to stay quiet while holding that button for a good 3 to 5 seconds, give or take.
All right.
Because what's going to happen is those two motors are going to talk to that computer. And that computer is going to go, okay, you turned 30 times. Hey, you only turned 29 times. And you may hear one or both of those
Have
motors
to-
kick
have
back
to
up
adjust.
and sync and get
Okay,
in sync
yeah.
with each other. Not a big deal if you've missed it 2 or 3 times here and there, but once you've missed it 30, 40, 50 times,
Got a problem.
your slide room could be going in and out
Oh,
crooked,
okay.
which means then you need to get it resynced. Another thing you can do if it does get out of whack or it does get a little unsynced is you can put the slide room out 6 inches, retract it in and hold that button down for a solid 5+ seconds. Put it out 6 inches and just keep repeating that 6-inch out and back in over and over again until the motors sync up.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes that helps.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you got to bring it in and get
Yeah,
it synced up
right,
there.
yeah.
The other thing you can do is if the slide room doesn't work on you at all, Underneath in there is going to be a little box about this big.
Okay.
It's going to say slide room control LCI. You have a white sticker with instructions on how to reset the slide room.
Okay.
All you need is a ballpoint pen.
So we're going to be able, no matter if it sticks out, we're still going to be able to get it in.
For the most part. The very
Is
worst
there a
case
manual
scenario.
overdrive or manual?
So yeah, that's where you get a little. So there is no like manual crank for it. Okay, where these you can get to the motor on the hydraulic, you can get a drill on the motor and run the motor and bring the slide rooms in. With that, there is no like crank. So what you would have to do is you'd have to pull the seals back, and that motor that I talked about is held on with an Allen wrench on that drive wrench. You just loosen up the Allen wrench, push the motors off of both those drive shafts, push the sucker in.
That'd be an emergency situation.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
If you can get any other way to get it fixed other than doing that,
Right.
that's what you want
But
to do.
it definitely has to come back in here if I do that.
Now, bring this in just so you can kind of hear what we're talking about. I
Okay.
heard silence.
Yep.
If I had heard those motors kick up a little bit, then I would have recountered. I would have restarted after it got quiet.
Okay.
Okay. So then. Touchscreen stopped working. You'll have that on these. Sometimes you're pressing it and it just doesn't read your fingers there.
Okay. 3 to 5 seconds
One thing about
afterwards.
this, we're going to be staying, and we don't have to, we're not going to be using these every 2 days or something. You know what I mean? That's
Yep, you're going to be in
help
one
us
spot for a while, it sounds like.
Yep.
So, yeah, once you guys will be getting them out, you'll be good to go. One little trick that I have seen, since you guys are going to be in one spot for a while, excuse me, check under your slide toppers just in case a bird decided to look cozy and built a bird nest in there.
Okay.
I've seen it happen a couple times.
Okay.
Not enough to be like, oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah, right,
but
right.
enough to be like, if you're going to spend 2 or 3 months in a place,
Yeah.
Check everything out. Okay. Good deal.
questions on anything in here then?
No, I got that pretty good.
Okay.
And then, of course, I've got it on here, so
Sure. You always
can
refer
go back
to
to
it.
refer back. Hey, somebody said just recently, or just yesterday, they just got their 397, and the drains didn't drain in the tub, in the shower, and the shower in the garage. And somebody said get a plunger because some seal might. They plunged it and it spun a seal around. Did you guys check these?
Yeah. No, I mean, we filled all the tanks up.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, did you run the water in the showers to see if?
Yeah, yeah. I
Go
mean, yeah,
down?
we do run all that stuff and make
Okay.
sure it works.
Whoops.
And what actually, that could be a number of things. It could be seals. It could be the other thing that they do that really kind of sucks is when they have their tanks and they cut the hole in where the tank's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
They don't reach in and grab that piece all the time that they cut in there.
Oh,
so if
so
that
it's-
piece lops somewhere, it can.
I think
clog
that's
things
what
up.
they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep.
There
There's
it
the king
is.
bed. I can't wait to get on that queen bed.
Yeah, I think.
With 3 puppies on it, and me and her, that's a...
I
Sure.
think
Sure.
we might be changing this mattress on.
That's fine. Do what you want.
What do
with
you,
these.
I mean,
I
I
can
just
do
hear
like
a lot
Denver
of-
mattresses and stuff like that. These actually aren't the worst that you'll come across. But a lot of people, especially if you're going to be full-time in it, you're probably going to want to get something
yeah.
maybe a little bit more comfortable. Even if you just got like a little pillow topper to put on top of it.
I thought of that too.
That's maybe all you really need to do.
Yeah, king
Try
size
that first,
bed.
anyhow.
Mhm.
Yeah, king size bed with 3 puppies.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
we'll have. I could roll over. Yay, that is.
So the washer dryer works just like you would think. You know, nothing crazy or fancy.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is washers, they work great. Dryers, be patient. Very small loads.
Yeah.
Like the clothes that we're all wearing right now, that might be 2 loads. You know, so be very cautious with how full you're making it because there is no 220 in this coach.
Right. Right.
Even though
right.
technically it's a 50 amp
Yeah.
cord out there, and you would think it's
Yeah.
220, there is no 220 in here, so that's a 110 dryer,
Yeah.
and it's about half the size of what you got at home.
Right.
Right.
So it's in my head 4 times less effective.
Yeah.
So be patient with the dryer.
Yeah. They
We're,
think, you
I
know,
told her we're not going to run this thing unless we're full hookup and 50 amps. So.
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
And then, you know, too, if we have to take a load to the
Laundromat or
Laundromat
whatever.
or
Yeah,
something,
not
or-
a big
Most of
deal.
these campgrounds now.
This will be great for like just quick things like you spilled.
Underwear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Quick things
Yeah.
like that. You don't want to do a whole load of towels in there
No.
or anything
No,
like
no.
that. So,
No.
a towel, sure.
Yeah, but that's why we.
2
have
towels, maybe.
Yeah.
After that, maybe not.
um,
So USB plugs over there and 110.
okay, good. I have a CPAP machine.
Yep.
That'll fit in here.
You both have one or just
No,
one?
just me.
Okay.
Ah! Oh, good. Yeah, this is good. This is.
And then of course you got
Yeah, the other. Yeah.
big storage right under there,
Mm-hmm.
which right now has some of the shelves and stuff that were in here.
Okay.
So hold on to those just
Yeah.
in case one day if you want to get another one, you want to move the washer dryer over, you can put those shelves
the
back
shelves
in. They
back
won't
in.
ding you on anything there.
Yeah, because we're gonna take out 2 of the chairs too that
Yeah,
and
sure.
store them somewhere.
Sure. There's the poles for the table that goes in the back or up in the front there, and then
Okay.
the attachments for the vacuum cleaner.
Okay, that's a nice closet. This was one of the reasons I picked this one.
Sure.
Because the slide goes out, and then this is nice in here.
Well, you can have a king bed and you can still get through there. Which most of the other ones you see, they have a king bed. There's no getting through on the sides.
No, that's the one complaint. A lot of people actually stick with queen
Yeah.
beds just because there isn't enough
Yeah,
room to get
right.
on the sides.
That's
Yeah. And then
We've watched YouTube videos out the yin yang.
the lights. Yeah.
Now, the other thing you can look at in here is this switch right on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
This will also run the slide room. So if you want to come up and actually watch the slide room come in, make sure
Oh,
it's coming
okay.
in
Oh, okay.
You can do it from
So
here.
you don't have to do it on there,
from the
but you can
panel.
bring the
Correct.
slide in on here.
Correct.
And this is lights.
Yep.
I went to sit down like I was eating and looking out the
We got the table and chairs because he likes to eat
I like to eat
inside,
Sure.
and he wants to be able to look out these beautiful windows.
Each their own, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to buy, you better well like it, right?
What are these things for?
The toilet paper
Oh, okay.
holder. They don't put them up because no one can agree where they should go.
Oh, okay.
So they say, here they are, put them where you want.
You know, I have a stand. I might just,
And a lot of people do that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm probably gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
And then this lock's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then you've got these vents right above you. You got one here, and you got one in the kitchen. I think there's one back in the back end as well. These are the controls. You're going to see a couple controls like this. All you have to do, so the up and down actually just opens up the lid.
Okay.
But you can just hit the on button. It'll open up the lid, and it'll also turn the fan on. Okay? These are great fans. You can probably feel the air being sucked in from behind me right now.
Yeah.
You can open up a window, turn all these fans on. It'll create a nice, good breeze, cool it off. In
Oh,
here.
that's good too.
Then you turn the off button. It'll close. It'll do its thing. Now, they do have rain sensors on them.
Okay.
So if they sense rain, they will close up and turn off on their own. The only thing I have against that is, and this is just my thoughts on it, is, especially in the bath or the kitchen one here, is for me, if I'm camping, I'm cooking outside. If I'm not camping, or if I'm not cooking outside, it's because it's raining outside. So I'm going to be cooking inside. Which means I can't turn off the fan because it's going to get wet.
Yeah.
So I'd still suggest, even though they have the rain sensors and stuff, I still suggest everybody put the vent covers on top of them. That way you can leave them open in the rain and use them. Plus, it keeps the sun from beating down on the plastic and kind of drying it out and cracking it, creating another leak.
Yeah. Boy, this is nice and deep.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah.
that.
That was.
But it was such a good use of space in these things.
Right there.
Plus, here's the best damn thing about it.
Damn key.
One key. One.
Well, we may be getting the push button locks.
So no keys.
Yeah. Because isn't it true that somebody else with a fifth wheel has the same key as we do?
Well, okay.
Yeah. Tell me the story on that.
So with these keys, so you guys are familiar with the 751 key, right?
No.
No.
So 751 key opens the little silver locks that like are on your compartment doors.
Cylinder type.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody, that's the same key. Every single one of them. Now with the one key here, this is going to open all your compartments. This is going to open all your doors. It's going to open up the back. It's going to open up everything. They make probably, I think, 25, 30 different cuts of this. So, no, it's very unlikely anyone is going to have this exact key to open up your stuff.
Oh, okay.
The only thing that is 100% unique to you is your deadbolt. There is something about this key that's very specific that only works that deadbolt. But like, I have a master key where I can open up your handle lock anytime. But the chances of you having the same handle lock key as somebody else, very, very unlikely. And again, as long as you're docking the deadbolt, no one's going to be able to get it except for you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that should be.
I mean, if you want to do the keyless thing, just so you can make sure you don't lock yourself out, or you, so
maybe
you don't
on
have to
one
make a bunch
door.
of keys
Maybe
and stuff.
on one door.
Yeah.
There's only one of those keys.
Well,
this unit, or can you get two?
There's two keys.
Oh, okay.
But
All right.
But it's only one key.
Okay.
Right. You have two sets
so we
of
can
keys.
Yeah,
have
two
one.
sets of keys, yeah.
Okay. Right.
Two sets of keys mean just two
Okay.
keys.
All right.
So this concludes part 2 of our video 2020 Momentum 397 Toy Hauler walkthrough. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you want to be notified of future videos, ring the bell. Thanks.